How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about PROG stock. It did end up having a red day, and I know I'm going to get those messages saying, Dre, what is going on? Why did it pull back? Why wasn't it green today? The market looked fairly strong. You got to give us an update. So that's what I'm going to be doing inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. I want to make sure you guys are fully prepared. And then we're going to go on FinTel, taking a look at the short interest information. We know already in regards to the short interest, it will have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll go into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for PROG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.47, being down 3.61%. On the low, it tested $3.34, and then on the high, testing $3.75. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 35.122 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 124.493 million shares. So one thing that you can see right away, we did have well below the average in volume, and it's part of the reasons why we ended up seeing some pressure on the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a 1-year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it's right around 65.21. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, we have strength above the 50-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. So as far as this pullback that we had, of course, we are not surprised about it. What it looks like to me is just consolidation. Like I was saying in the previous video, as long as we're staying above this 200-day, I'm going to remain bullish. One thing that we have to take notice of on the day, we did have some support here at this $3.34 level, and that is of no surprise because we've shown support in this 330 area already. As far as for the high right at 375, you can see, yes, this was an area of resistance. So I'll be looking forward for us to actually get past this and make that move going back to the $4 range, whether it be tomorrow or maybe on the Wednesday. But do keep in mind, we do have a Fed meeting, so there's going to be a lot of volatility. But one of the trends I want you guys to understand here, we continue to see increasing levels of support. And another thing that I want to point out as well is the pattern. So we tend to have at least 3 to 2 red days back to back when it comes to PROG. So if we end up having another red day tomorrow, I don't want you to be surprised about that. Or if we end up having a green, of course, this can be a continuation of the previous trend that we saw. So I wouldn't be shocked, like I said, if we see another red day and then it gets followed up by a green day. So continue to keep this on the watch list. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for PROG. So we can see for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 53.76%. And then for the dark pool short volume being just over 10 million shares. As we scroll down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 150,000, updated 26 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow free rate, it is at 67.39%. So we can see that's actually been on quite the downtrend, because I remember when it was in the 100% range, it went down to the 80% range, and now it's in the 60% range. So when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of to 28th, which was last week Thursday, was 53, and then the close for the Friday that just passed was 53.76. So it's going to be very interesting to see what those numbers will be later on in the evening. You can let me know inside of the comment section for everyone else as well. But one thing that remains clear is that PROG does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why I want you guys to continue to keep your eye on this play. So now let's go over the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for PROG stock. So we can see here on the inflow is 23.86, and then on the outflow is 24.90. So we ended up having an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0.66, on the medium it was 15.32, and then on the small it was 7.88. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 1.09, on the medium it was 16.39, and then on the small it was 7.42. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 1st it being negative because it was an outflow at 429.95. So right away when we take a look at the breakdown, there was a lot more buying on the retail side than we had selling, but there wasn't a big difference between the both of them at all. And when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had some more selling as well, but it was still fairly close to what we got on the inflows. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, of course we had some more outflows, but we still had some interest on the large scale side. So now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, we can clearly see here it's at 24.41. So we know there are a lot of traders that are inside of PROG stock, and also there are many who are probably holding a position as well. So seeing it at 24% is not too bad whatsoever, but it's something that you're going to want to continue to keep an eye on. And also in regards to volume, it hasn't been like what we were getting when we were seeing those strong run-ups. So this is why the price action that you're currently seeing, I just look at it as consolidation. It still has strength above the moving averages, like I said before, so this is why you have to keep your eye on this play. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for PROG stock, yes, it ended up pulling back, but I feel like it is very healthy. I feel one area that I want to see us hold up going into tomorrow is around $3.30. If we're able to do that, the consolidation continues and we can even finish red and I would still be bullish. One thing that is very clear though, as far as a pattern is concerned, PROG does tend to have at least 2 to 3 red days before having another green day. So that is one thing that you want to keep in mind. So if you're going to be trading inside of this play, just know that's going to contribute to the overall volatility because a lot of that is dependent on volume and so forth. And then when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. And we also did notice in regards to the short borrow fee rate, it has been coming down. I remember when it was in the 100% range. I remember it was in the 80% range, and now it's in the 60% range. So what this tells us right away, yes, shorts have been covering their positions since the stock has pulled back a little bit. So knowing that they actually started this early has me very interested in seeing, well, you know what, there's a good chance PROG should be able to get back to that $4 level, and then we want to see what it's able to do from there. And this is why I emphasize doing your homework, doing your due diligence, and having a strategy in regards to your entry and as well as your exit will put you ahead of the game, and you won't have to be riding the elevator if you don't have to. As far as for myself, I do not hold any positions in PROG whatsoever. I rather just trade off of the price action, and I know there's many other people that do the same. I also do understand there are many people who buy shares and they do hold, and if you are going to be doing that, again, maximizing your entries would be very important. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.